You.
Well, don't you think you ought to tell me who you are first?
Oh, Alice, she's always getting herself into some crazy situation. Don't worry, we'll be talking about her and her drug problems further down on the list. Yeah, it's a crazy list. Hey guys, I'm Court McGinley and welcome back to the most amazing top 5. Before we get started, I want to remind you to stay tuned until the end of the video as I'll be answering your questions and reading comments. Also, don't forget to leave your questions down below so I can answer them in an upcoming video. Alright, let's get started on our list of the top 5 biggest Disney fails that will ruin your childhood. Starting off at our number 5 spot, Cinderella. This movie came out in 1950, but despite it being older, it's definitely a staple Disney movie that many kids watch. I mean, she is the second official Disney princess after all. Also, Walt did say that she was his favorite as he loved her rags to riches storyline. Now, the fail I'm about to mention is not one that I agree with, but it is out there in the world, so many people are talking about it, and they agree with it, so I feel like it needs to be mentioned. During one scene, Jacques and Gus are scrambling around collecting the beads that are rolling on the floor from Cinderella's broken necklace. They are then in an odd position and Jacques begins stringing beads onto Gus's tail. Yeah, to me this just seems playful, but apparently people are trying to say that Jacques and Gus are sexually experimenting with sex toys. Yeah, that's a stretch. But apparently hundreds of people are saying this is what's happening. In at number 4, Lion King. Okay, now this is an extremely well-known fail, but that's basically because it's one of the biggest Disney fails out there, so I had to include it on the list. This movie came out in 1994. In it, there's a nighttime scene that takes place right before Rafiki and Simba meet. Simba's an adult and nothing is going his way. He's tired and so he plops down on the edge of a cliff. This motion causes a big dust cloud to appear, and allegedly for a few seconds the dust cloud spells out the word sex when the letters S-E-X apparently appear. This is the scene I'm talking about. Now I know, I definitely don't remember this. But then again, as a kid, it's probably not something I would notice either. But people have been trying to prove it by taking still shots of the image and outlining the letters. Because of this, parents were enraged. Can't really say I blame them. That's definitely not appropriate for a Disney film. But it's also been speculated that this doesn't spell out sex at all, but rather it spells out SFX, which is the special effects team trying to sneak in there so they could leave their mark on the movie. But man, oh man, was that the biggest mistake ever. Plus, I'm pretty sure it actually spells out sex. I mean, there's a pretty definitive bottom line on that E. At number 3, Aladdin and the King of Thieves. This movie came out in 1996. In the movie, Jasmine and Aladdin are finally tying the knot. Just as the duo are getting ready for their wedding ceremony, their castle becomes under attack and a group of bandits break in. During all the commotion, the castle begins to shake and rumble. It's at this time that Genie chimes in and says, "I thought the Earth wasn't supposed to move until the honeymoon." Check it out.
The Earth wasn't supposed to move until the honeymoon.
Yeah, that's a little inappropriate there, Genie. Now as a kid, you might chuckle along to this comment, but you don't really know what it means. But as an adult, you know what he's referring to. And it is pretty inappropriate that they chose to put this line into a children's movie. Coming in at number 2, Alice in Wonderland. This movie came out in 1951, and the amount of casual drug use portrayed in this movie, oh my god. Yeah, it's actually ridiculous. Alice is just over in Wonderland, taking whatever is handed to her by complete strangers. She doesn't think twice about it or about the consequences. She's popping cookies, consuming mysterious drinks. Yeah, this movie is just basically one big acid trip. I guess her parents never told her not to talk to strangers, let alone never consume anything someone you don't know gives you. I mean, look at the characters we come across. There's a caterpillar smoking weed, a rabbit abusing Adderall, and then we have the Mad Hatter who seems to be on every drug imaginable. Then we have poor sweet Alice who is just trying to fit in. So she's just drinking and eating everything that's handed to her. Yeah, that's not a good way to live life, girl. Apparently in the movie, Alice is supposed to be 7 years old. Yeah, if she's like that as a kid, I don't even want to know what happened to her as a teenager. Alright, and before we jump into our number 1 spot, I just want to remind you guys to please show some love by giving this video a big thumbs up and subscribing to our awesome channel. And once again, stay tuned until the end of the video as I'll be answering your questions. And if you would like to be featured in an upcoming video, then make sure you leave those questions down below. And in at number 1, the song of the South. This movie came out in 1946 and they really pushed all the boundaries with this one. I don't know what Disney was thinking. They really messed up this time. As you know, I'm a hardcore Disney fan, but no way I could get behind this and defend their decision on this one. This is a live-action animated movie and pretty much, by far, the most inappropriate movie Disney has ever made. But they have done a good job on keeping this movie hidden from the public over the last 30 years. So basically, this is a movie about an African-American character named Uncle Remus. He's presumed to be a former slave who is happily working for a white family on their plantation. And he's doing handyman work during the post-Civil War. Throughout the movie, Uncle Remus tells the children stories about several different animals, such as a fox, a rabbit, and a bear. Over the years, critics have referred to this movie as one of Hollywood's most offensive and racist texts. It's also been called out for basically glorifying slavery. This video has never officially been released in its entirety on home video in the USA. And now you know why. But before all of the negative attention took over, this movie did manage to win an award for Best Song. And the song was Zippity Doo Dah, which I'm sure many of you have heard before.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day.
Alright, and now it's that time of the video where I answer your questions and read comments, so let's get started. In a video where we talked about the Queen, the bid master said, "The Queen has dogs? I know it because I'm one of them, thanks for answering my question." Yes, she does, or rather she did. Sadly, her last corgi passed away a few weeks ago. Craig Dean Hockenhall said, "Cool, thank you so much." Craig also asked if we could do a list about the top 5 facts about river Thames. And to be honest, I was unsure about what that was, so I looked it up and I discovered that it's a river that flows through southeastern England. So I will make that suggestion for you, Craig, because I think that's a pretty cool idea. Dan H said, "I love you so much, you are the best. Love from my whole family in the US." Thank you so much, Dan, and say hi to your family for me. Also, all of the crew here sends our love your way. Next, Moondas Lele said, "Wow, early, also cool vid. Thank you so much, glad you liked it, and congratulations on being part of the early squad." I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently some of you are hashtagging that in the videos, so yeah, there you go. Well, there you have it, that's our list of the top 5 biggest Disney fails that will ruin your childhood. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to show us some love by giving this video a big thumbs up, subscribing, and turning on that notification bell. Also, leave any and all your questions so you can be featured in our next video, and I'll catch you in the next one.